seen it.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquart of the Marquart Law Firm at marquartlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquart. Today we're going to be talking about some exciting stuff. There are some court cases that will give you some lessons on business law, estate planning, elder law, disability law, and of course we'll talk about the sinners and the saints and the legacy as well. But you know that the mission for Talk Law Radio is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots by listening to me talk about the law on the radio. Shannon's here. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you.
Last week, we invited listeners to give us some feedback about whether or not you should be on the show. And it was overwhelmingly positive.
I made the cut. Yay.
So I'm excited to have you again. We're not talking about any divisive issues.
Oh, good.
No politics.
Oh, that's such a relief.
Sometimes family dynamics.
Everybody needs this, but this is something for everybody.
That's true. Yeah, business law, estate planning, elder law. It's going to be a great show. So stick with us to the end. If you're in the car right now, that's cool. Keep listening. If you have to pull over or get out or go through the drive-through and you have to turn it down and you're afraid you're going to miss something, then subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's the best way to listen whenever you want.
Yeah, I like to have it playing.
Oh, cool.
Like sometimes
you listen to the show?
I'll just run it when I'm like doing the dishes or something like that.
That's perfect. Or walking the dog. I see a lot of people listening to something when they're walking, and they might as well be listening to Talk Law Radio.
Yeah, good stuff.
Before we get started talking about estate planning, I wanted to find out how you're healing the community this week. What have you been posting?
For better or worse, for some reason, what's been on my heart is the division in our country. So I've been posting a couple things about history's gonna watch us and see how we react to these times. So are you part of the problem? Are you part of the solution? Do you have someone on the other side of the political, side that is at your workplace that you can talk to, extend the olive branch? And it's about relationship, and we're all Americans. We're all in this together, and you want to be on the right side of this. And in my very humble opinion, the right side is promoting unity and not adding to our increased division. Our enemies love it when we're divided.
Right.
And just laugh and laugh,
Well, you're talking about bringing a political conversation to work or to a relationship where you might not normally talk about that?
I'm talking about that guy that you avoid or girl.
Mm-hmm.
Have a coffee with them. It's possible you have a lot more in common than you realize.
Yeah,
and
but you don't have to talk about all the polar views that you have.
Right, exactly.
Just get to know them as a human being.
Yeah, if you can. I mean, I realize this is kind of a pie in the sky Pollyanna view, but you want to say that you tried. We're getting so divided.
Yeah, but people have different ideas on what the right thing to do is.
True, right. But the thing I like about you is your curiosity. So I think that's always going to save you. I can't ever imagine you being so in your head or in a polarized bubble, because you just love people and you have a genuine curiosity about what all people are thinking, or so that's a really good thing about you.
Keep saying that, Shannon.
No, you do.
I'm gonna let Shannon write my biography. She's so kind.
It's true.
Well, let's talk about estate planning. That estate planning is a will or a trust, or how you leave your assets if you're gone, and how you plan for that time if it comes up that you happen to be incapacitated, how to give people permission to take care of you. And the first hidden legal issue here is a situation, what if you're married and you want to take care of your spouse, but because of your family dynamics or life circumstances, you don't want to just give your spouse all of your money. You want your spouse to use the money, but with certain restrictions and conditions.
Oh, wow.
And so this is like using a trust for your spouse.
Oh, wow.
And I also wanted to say that the reason I keep coming back to talk to you about estate planning and elder law and business law is because the laws are ever changing.
Yeah.
And new situations and circumstances help us all understand the law better and how we can use it to help our families and our situations in life. And I started thinking, what makes me a better estate planning attorney?
Yeah.
And one of the things is that I read court cases.
Right.
Problems about estate planning that other people have created or run into.
Right. And it's interesting. What you just said a minute ago is fascinating. I was not aware you could do that. It reminds me of that novella that I'm watching.
Oh, yeah.
What if you don't like your wife and you create a trust where she has to, what if she's really scared of snakes and you put in the trust, you get all the money or you get the money once a month if you live with snakes, you know? Like, can you do that?
Well, it has to be legal, and that does sound like it could be legal. But the more common scenarios where it comes up is if you had children from a different relationship,
Yeah.
and I had children from a different relationship, how can I give you money but still make sure that
I have. Let me send it to you.
no, but still make sure that you don't disinherit my kids.
Oh, okay.
And so it's a way of letting the spouse use income and the principal for health, education, maintenance, and support while the spouse is alive. But then after the surviving spouse passes away, then whatever's left in that trust would go to my kids.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my brain works this way, but you somewhat know me, so I guess you're used to me. There's a lot of novellas about that too.
Oh, yeah.
Where the stepmom will, the
Right.
kids were from the other marriage, and then all of a sudden they're like on the outs.
I need to start watching that novella.
Yes.
I have a lot of content for Talk Law Radio there.
You will. And your Spanish will get much, much better.
Oh, cool.
And you'll learn to say this really quickly. No puede ser. No puede ser. It can't be. It can't. They say that a lot on novellas.
Good. I met with somebody last week who really loved you on the show, and she liked that you were helping me with my pronunciation of Spanish. Roberta.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Do I say your name correctly? Years ago, I just decided in my brain that it was Marquart.
Oh, yeah.
I do?
Yes.
How do people say it wrong? What do you hear?
Most of the time when I was in school, they would say Marquart.
Uh-huh.
And I said, there's an R in there, so you have to pronounce the R. You don't pronounce the D at the end. You just skip that and pronounce the T. And so that's why when I started practicing law, I told everybody it's Marquart, like a quart of milk.
Yeah.
So what they do is they think my first name's Mark and my last name's Court.
Oh, how interesting.
So they'll call me Mark.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I say my name's Todd Marquart.
Yeah.
They just totally don't even catch that I said Todd.
Very cool. I like a couple things about your name. One is that Todd is also an acronym for transfer on deed of death, and I like how your name is so unique. You'll never be confused for anyone else in town.
Yeah, well, I like to tell people I invented it, which I didn't. They just named it after me because I'm such a great estate planning attorney.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Well, we have to take a break, but I wanted to let you know what we're talking about this episode. We're talking about estate planning, business law, elder law, And we'll have the Sinners and Saints segment too, and the Legacy segment, which is the whole purpose for doing estate planning.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquart, brought to you by the Marquart Law Firm. You can learn more at marquartlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquart talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.